What's up, dudes? It's the freaking Deke. I'm back in the shop and I'm psyched about it. Today, kind of a challenging project. My buddy's into these Hondas, the early 80s, and the exhaust always rusts out, and it's very hard to find somebody who will fix them. They are kind of a nightmare. So I'm like, dude, let me give it a try. I'm gonna see what I can do. If it starts going sideways, I'm gonna bail, but he's kind of out of luck, and that's what friends are for. So it's up to me to fix this rust hole in this exhaust. Let me show you the rust hole. This is the bottom of the exhaust. Apparently nobody will see it, and the weep holes, these, just aren't enough to keep the moisture out of it, and they end up rusting out. And this stuff, this chrome, is paper thin material now as it's rusted away. You can see on this side that it's cracking, looks terrible. My camera's not helping, but you can see nightmare. So my original plan was cut this out and insert a patch, weld it flush, but this is so thin, I start cutting this away to go to the edge of this. I mean, this is like 26, 28. It's a rusty razor blade. That's what I have to weld with. So I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna take 1,000 years to cut this out, build a small piece and weld it in. Is it okay if I just make a patch panel, roll it nicely, and cap this piece and rock that vibe versus cutting, cleaning, and trying to make this thing 100% not visible? A little bit out of my skill level. How about that? It's so thin, I feel like I'd get in over my head, get frustrated, and bail. So my plan is just build a patch panel out of some 16 gauge, clean this up, grind off the chrome. The chrome is an insulator, you cannot arc to it. I have to knock this down, so I'm thinning it even further. And then I'm gonna weld that panel on and see how it turns out. I'm gonna roll a piece, clean a piece, weld a piece, and call it a day, see if he's happy with that. He said, you gotta do something. No one's touching this for him. I guess he talked to a lot of people before he talked to me, and he's like, dude, I'm kind of up a creek here on this one. And so I'm gonna try my best. This is not necessarily the work that I do often, but it is a custom hard repair, which are things that I like to do. So I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm gonna take this thing on. Let's get this cleaned up. Let's roll a piece in the little slip roller, and then let's weld it up. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, boys. These ones can be challenging. I'm gonna try, my hardest to make it perfect, but ultimately, bottom of the bike doesn't really matter as long as we don't have any leaks, and it needs to be fixed anyways and no one's gonna touch it. So let's get to it. I'm cleaning this up, let's go. Yeah, dudes, okay, that's okay. Dudes, I gotta frickin' hold a patch, man. But all that's the problem is if I was to try to cut that back and arc to the inside with that much rust on the, dude, what are you doing? I'm gonna fight that for 1,000 years? I don't know how else to do it other than build a small patch panel. And like I said, bottom of the bike, it's not visible, it just needs to be patched, dude. It doesn't need to be super shaved. I wouldn't even know how to do it, to be honest, because you arc to it, all those impurities from behind are gonna pull to the front. This thing has had 1,000 gallons of water and 50 years of rust in it. Exaggeration, but still, you arc the top, it moltens, obviously, all the way through. That's what a good weld penetrates all the way through. It's gonna pull that crud to the top. This is a nightmare one, dudes. So I'm still going with patch panel, and I got it prepped enough to move forward. I mean, I guess, geez Louise. Time to build a patch and clean this up and see if I can arc to this baby. Oh man, tough, dude. Couple tough projects lately. I have been swamped. Anyway, no excuses. I'm rolling up a nice tight fitting patch panel. So let's go. Yes, boys. The patch panel fits relatively close. Slip roller worked great. I know it's just a small one, but dude, you'd be surprised how handy that thing actually can be. Anyway, it's time to flip on the TIG and get set up. I'm going to run, normally in my TIG torch, I rock a 332 tungsten. I'll be for sure switching that out to some 116 out of respect. And yeah, DC, I'm gonna probably start at something like, God, 60 amps. I'm gonna keep it low, and I am going to pay attention. So, I got the 60 amps, DC. I got the chrome knocked off, so I won't have like arc start issues. The smallest 70S2 that I have is 1/16. I might run a 045 if I had it, but I don't. So 1/16 it is, of course. And yeah, machine's on. I'm hooking it up. I gotta try it. I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen when I arc to this, but you never know until you try. And that's what I'm here for. So let the Honda patch continue. Not a doctor, just a surgeon. Let's go, time to weld. Holy shnikes, bros. So, here is what I learned. 60 amps, way too high. I was barely a quarter pedal into it. The actual chrome exhaust part would puddle at a quarter pedal, and if I went over that and it actually penetrated, instant pop, tungsten contamination, because all that stuff from behind would come right up. What a nightmare. I had to pay way close attention. I did use 16 gauge. I probably should have went to like a 20 gauge, to be honest, because I'd kind of have to do a little bit of a weave, go to the 16, blip the pedal, get it to puddle, stick it with the filler, let off, come back to that super thin chrome exhaust, sheet metal, razor blade, rusty nightmare, and then I would get on the pedal just barely and it would hold, and I'd start running, pop, dude. Tungsten contaminated. I'm like, no. So try not to judge me too harshly on the quality of these welds. I'm gonna grind them down anyway, and I don't know what I'm looking for. I wanted to show you guys how freaking thin that shiz is, but I can't find a piece of it. I found a piece right here. Yeah, this is the thick part. So, like I said, when I was welding this stuff, which is, I mean, should we get a razor blade for comparison? Here's a razor blade for thickness comparison. It literally, I mean, I can't even tell you guys how impossibly thin this rusty, crappy chrome is. Let's just make sure that everyone's perfectly aware that this is borderline nightmare, and no wonder nobody wanted to do it. I would way rather actually weld on the razor blade than on this stuff. I'm not kidding. I would way rather weld on the razor blade. Of course, because at least it's freaking clean. Anyway, don't judge these welds too harshly. I'm gonna show you, man, it got out of control. At the first got a little out of control. Here we go. With all of that said about the razor blade and the rust, and I think you guys get it, these welds are a little terrible, but dude, I filled every hole and it's fully welded. Let's check it out. That's the hole I drilled to mock the other weep hole. That's what I marked this line right here for. But yeah, I mean, the welds aren't terrible. Some of them I got running pretty good, probably where the material is a little bit thicker. But that's 16 gauge to rusty razor blade, and it looks all right. It looks all right. I'm gonna knock these welds down. But yeah, should be fine. And you know what? I'm patting myself on the back for that. Nightmare. Right here, I get it. Got a little wiry, but got the hang of it. Got the hang of it. That's a win. So yeah, now it's time to, man, I'm gonna bust out the Milwaukee cordless die grinder. I got this flap wheel Baileigh. I think it's a Weiler. It's actually a really good product. I'm gonna use this to knock it down, just the top of the weld, and pay super attention. Then I'm gonna come back with just a coarse Scotch-Brite and clean it up a little bit. But yeah, dude, let's do that. What are you gonna sit and talk about it? Let's do it. Here we go. Time to put lipstick on a pig, I guess. Let's say. But dudes, come on, man. Very difficult. 60 amps was way too much. But yeah, I only had to sharpen my tungsten like, oh, I don't know, 12 times. That's fun. Okay, let's clean up. Here we go. I'm gonna grind this down. I might have got it on camera. Hopefully you guys got to see that with the close up of the, what a fudge nightmare. Okay, time to clean up. I'm just knocking down the top. I'm not gonna go super crazy with polishing this baby, but yeah, knocking it down. So let's knock off the roughs. Here we go. Diamond in the rough. Knocking off the rough, leaving the diamond. Let's go. Good. We all right. We all right, boys. We all right. I knocked the weld off. You guys saw that. There was one little small tab that I needed to re-weld back on. I got that done real quick. And overall, like, I'm happy with it. It is patched. It's on the bottom of the bike. Nobody's gonna see it. It is thicker material than what was originally there. The patch, honestly, could have been better. I don't know how to fix that contamination coming up through, just ruining my freaking tungsten. I honestly have no idea how to fix it. So overall, done. I'm calling it a day, dude. It came out pretty good. I mean, honestly, like not super great. Not super great. Like there was some spot. Okay, there we go. Let's focus. It came out pretty good, honestly, compared to what was there, which was impossible to use. Wouldn't have been doable, but yeah, man, it's welded up. It's welded up good. It's got the weep hole. And I mean, hey dudes, from this far away, it doesn't look too shabby. Anyway, dudes, lesson learned, always say no to your friends, all right? Second lesson learned, yeah, no, I honestly, looking back, there's nothing that I could have done different that would have produced a better result. I mean, I was fighting the tungsten, I was fighting the contamination on the inside, can't get away from that. The bike's from 81. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I probably could, if this was like a show bike situation, I might go back and restack the welds to hide it because now it's got a little bit more material. I could lay a fat rack all the way around the edges again and hide the original welds. I mean, honestly, I could, and no one would be the wiser, but since it's on the bottom of the bike and it's for a buddy and he's like, dude, just do the best you can. I'm not gonna, you know, sit and take 2 hours to get this thing show bike quality when it's literally, like I said, on the bottom of the bike. I'm making a bunch of excuses. This was the first time I've ever done anything like this, and overall, I am very happy with the result. Seeing that I'm a rookie on the chrome, rust, razor blade, patch, roller situation. So yeah, pleased as punch. And yeah, I think the guy's gonna be psyched about it. So no big deal. And another fun project down, right? I mean, another one bites the dust, in the words of the all great Freddie Mercury. And on that wisdom, I will say, thanks for watching. I am the mother freaking Deke, and I'm out.